Hello, chat. Welcome to another stream, the first one in July. It's been a really long time. It's been a really long time in the channel. We have had quite a few videos, but it's been a long time since there has been a stream. And today is the day, the long awaited day, when the Olympiad teams have been unveiled. It has been a long wait. The last date was actually a few days ago, but it took a bit longer than the last date for the teams to finally get announced. And here we have it today. But before we get into that, first, let's have some interaction with the chat. And I have this different setup where things look a bit different, but let's let's go through it one by one. So yeah, hello everyone. And Russia and China are not playing. True, this was something a long time coming. Atava is asking if spectators can come and watch the Olympiad games. Yes, the spectators. I expect a provision for the spectators to be able to come and watch, but the details about it are still awaited. What happened to India's third team now that we have odd team in open section? Once again, this is something where I don't really expect. This is something where I expect a team to come in, but I'm not entirely sure when the announcement regarding that will happen or what are the details. In general, what I do know, according to the regulations, the rule book, uh, again, what I know, I haven't personally read it, but what I do know is that in case of an odd number of teams, that the host does reserve the right to field an additional team to make it even. But I don't know. Um, I don't know details beyond that. What happened to the third team for men? What happened to the third team for the women? The women entry list has an all even number of teams, so I don't know what happened there. And the open section as well. Very curious to know all details with all the board order be changed now with change in rankings. The board orders are completely arbitrary, so it can be chosen by the captain. Anyone can be on 1, anyone can be on 5, and this will be decided on 27th July, just a couple of days before the tournament. So it is nice to reserve this right to have the ability to make last minute changes, especially post lockdown in today's times where anything can happen, and the world has been filled with all kinds of disruptions since 2020, and it's impossible to make plans for more than a few weeks. Who are the captains this time? We'll have a look at that very shortly. We'll have a look at the list. And thank you so much, Niranjan. But itna bhi nahi hai. Not like Sagar, not like Hikaru and others, other streamers. Thank you so much, Avinash. क्या graphics है, क्या music है, सब एकदम बढ़िया. Thank you so much. All right, so shall we have a look at how the tournament teams look like? How the initial what do you use? How the initial team stand? Let's bring it up. First for the open, and Punjab is not happening on the stream today. Yeah, first in the open. Again, just give me a minute. It's been a really long time since I streamed, so I have forgotten pretty much everything about streaming. And yeah, I think here we have it. This is the tournament. This is the tournament starting list open, and we are not here to see how to get high click rate, so do ignore that part and let's focus on the part which we want to focus on. which is just the rankings. This is better now, but yeah, I think this is better now. Looks better to me. Cool. So look at USA, the first ranked team. Look at the rating difference between USA and the other teams. Look at USA has a rating average of 2771, and it's there are only two teams with a rating average of above 2700, and this is because Russia and China are not playing. And this is a list of entries as on 1st July 2022. But if there are any mistakes, any rectifications, that can still be changes till at least 8th July 2022. So it is the provisional list. It's not the final list. The final list will still take a few days, but this is the provisional final list. And let's get some context. Let's also get the other. Let's have a look at how the past few Olympiads happened. And again, I don't. Yeah. So chessresults.com, tournament search, Olympiad, and let's see how this compares with the previous Olympiad. Yeah, this is not a browser I usually use. Yeah, there we have it. This is the 2022 Olympiad, which we are seeing right now. And the previous one, we go all the way down to 2018. Here we have it. Batumi. Let's take the Olympiads 2016, 2014, 2012, the last three ones, to try and understand how the starting list compares, and some general statistics. So 2016 is here. This is Baku, and 2014 was in Tromso, where we won the bronze medal in the open section. And I'm focusing a lot on the open section because that's what I'm connected to. I'm the captain of the Open E team. So that's pretty much the only reason why I'm so heavily focused on the open sections of the different Olympiads. So there we have it till 2012. And let's have a look at the starting rank of teams. How do we check the team starting rank? Do that on all the different Olympiads we have open. Just taking a few seconds longer than I would like it to. Team starting rank, team starting rank, team starting rank. And there we have it. So we see United States up at the top. This is 2018. And this is 2022. And in both these lists, USA is right there at the top, and they had a rating average of 2772 previous time. Now they have 2771, so it's a bit in the red in terms of their past team. And in 2018 they had Caruana, Wesley So, Hikaru, Shankland, and Robson Ray. For the purpose of calculating average rating, only the top four is taken because the fifth player is reserved. So for the purpose of calculating it, only the top four are taken. And the team is pretty much the same, except Levon Aronian is in the US team this time in place of Hikaru Nakamura. And that makes it even stronger because what we don't see in the rating average is the rating of the reserve 2720, and the reserve in 2018 was 2682. So that's a little difference, but apart from that, since four players are going to take place in the game, take the board, take on the board. No, I don't know how to say it. In cricket, it's take the uh, crease or something like that. Hi, Liz. Hi, Swarali. So 2022, that's the little difference between the US teams. But on the other hand, Armenia has become weaker. In 2018, Armenia had 11 Oronian on top, 2780, and they were a pretty strong team. They in fact defeated India in the decisive encounter in round 8, which knocked India out of medal contention. But this time, Armenia will not have Levan Oronian, and I think that's a massive difference because they don't have that towering figure, their leader, their board one, Levan Oronian, and it's highly impactful, the difference of not having Oronian on the first board. So yeah, take the field in cricket. I guess take the chair in chess. Yeah, and notably, they Armenia also don't have Haik Martirosyan. They don't have Shan Sargsyan, these juniors, and it's not the team that you would have expected to see. So this is the Armenian team. But let's first have a look at the starting list and compare. If we see two massive absentees, Russia and China, the first team is the same. But India, even with a rating average of 27-24 in 2018, were the fifth seeds. But this time, with 26-96, India are the third seed. And that is primarily due to the absence of Russia and China in this Olympiad. They also fielded teams, very strong teams with four players rated about 2700, and that is definitely a factor. But if we look at the number of teams about 2600, I think it's more or less the same, or in fact, yeah, it's more or less the same. 21 teams about 2600 in this Olympiad, and it's 22 in 2018. And if we go further past, yeah, again, you see Russia, United States, and China, the top three in most of the Olympiads. But this time we have only United States of America up there at the top. But the teams over 2600, more or less the same, 23. And here you can see this is 2014, the Tromso, where we won the bronze. And I think even here you have like six teams with a rating average of about 2700. So the current Indian team would have been 8th seed in 2014 with our ratings. They would have been 6th seed in 2012, and they would have been in 2016, they would have been somewhere here, the 6th seed, where England is right now. And at that time we were the ninth seed in 2016. Also not at all bad, and this rating average of 2683, and the team composition is quite similar to what we have in 2022. Here we have Hari Krishna, we have Vidit, Vidit and Adivan, who are rated approximately close to what Arjun and SL Narayanan are rated right now. But if you look at the reserve, we had a non 2600 reserve in a lot of these tournaments, but a lot of the past Olympiads. But this time we have a lot more 2600s. So that's a big game changer. And the Olympiad list, I'll just put it on the chat. Yeah. So list is pinned in the chat, and this is the starting rank. Levon hasn't changed his citizenship, but he has changed his federation, and those are two different things. You can be a citizen of a different country but play for a different country. How? Ali Reza moved from Iran to France. The citizenship process takes much longer, but the process to change federation, it doesn't take a similar amount of time. So you can uh, You can change your federation, but changing citizenship is a whole different story. And if the C team is added, we'll have four teams above 20. We'll have 22 teams above 2600. So right now we have 21, but if the fourth team is, if the third team C team is added, then we'll have the 22nd team over 2600. Let's have a look at the team compositions, the general team compositions, and also Vishy sir is not playing because he had decided not to play the Olympiad even before it was shifted to India when it was in Moscow. And he doesn't play a lot these days in general. I think he plays something like one classical event per year, one or two post pandemic. So that was his personal choice, and I think we should respect that. And this was his official statement towards the this was his official statement when he was asked this question. Aside from that, the FIDE elections will also happen during the Olympiad, and Vishy is contesting for the post of the deputy president. So I don't think he would have been able to play in any case with full intensity. You need complete focus. You need complete focus to play chess, and with so many commitments, it wouldn't have been practically possible. So yeah, here we have the US team. Guys, don't get intimidated by the US team. Yes, they have four very strong players about 2750, but a lot of teams have four very strong players. Even if they are not rated about 2750, they are still pretty formidable. Why doesn't Anish Giri play for India? Because he's from Netherlands. Will the format be classical? Yes, the format will be classical, 1.5 hours plus 30 seconds for the first 40 moves. And after 40 moves, there will be an additional time of 30 minutes. So this is the format, the time format, and the timing of the Olympiad, the timing of all the major chess events. Generally, it starts at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. is deemed to be the perfect time to play chess, and the recommended time when it's not too early in the morning. It gives you some time to wake up late and prepare for your game, that enough time to have lunch and not go to sleep during the games, not fall asleep on the board, but also not too late into the night that it eats into your sleep at the night time. So 3 p.m. is the standard time. You see any super tournament, any strong tournament, it starts at 3. Candidate starts at 3. Olympiad starts at 3. Norway Chess, Prague Masters, everything starts at 3 in their respective local times. So 3 p.m. is the time. And Olympiad starts on 29 July. I'll not be streaming it. I'll be busy with other things. And yeah, this is the USA team. The second team, the second seeded team, Azerbaijan, has a captain who's even younger than me, Abbas Nijat. And Mamad Yaro and Rajabo are the top two boards there. Two players about 2700. And the 3 and 4 is Rauf Mamedo and Guseno. And the reserve is Vasif Durarbeli, who actually resides in USA. And how does FIDE election work? Who gets to vote? The delegates of each country. So the delegates of each country, I think they get a vote. Who the delegate is, I am not quite sure if it's the president or the secretary of each federation, but it's someone like that. I have to read the elections rule book, and I don't have a working knowledge of all the rule books in the world. Yeah, VD beat Vasif in World Cup last year. That's exactly the guy. I think he was residing in USA the last I know. How will the pairings be decided? Once again, very complex algorithm, guys. Very complex algorithm. Typically, what happens in any Swiss tournament, you have the starting list. The field is divided into two halves. So here we have, let's say, 187, which will probably become 188 to make it even. And once it's made into 188, it will be divided into two halves. So that is 94. And once it's done, in the first round, one will play against 95, two versus 96, three versus 97, four versus 98. And this is how Swiss pairings work. But and this is how the pairings for the uh, yeah, one versus 95, two versus 96, three versus 97, four versus 98. This is how the Swiss pairings work for the first round. Once the first round is over, and the people at 1 point who have won will be in a different group. The people with zero will be in a different group. And for example, in an ideal situation, let's say 1 to 94, they keep their seeding and they win. So then it will be one. Then the 94 will be divided into two halves again, 1 to 47 and 48 to 94. And it will be again 1 versus 48, 2 versus 49, 3 versus 50, 4 versus 51, and like that. This is how the Swiss pairings generally work. And yeah, so this is how the pairings are done. A lot of questions on whether the Indians are getting a third team. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And I think no one is sure at this point, including the players, because we have an odd number of teams, but there is still time till 8th July for some changes. So I think this one is something we'll know only at the very last minute. That's a nice point to note, Spanish Addict. The last team, the reserve board of USA is higher than our first board, the highest rated player. Welcome to the Knights, Kaustubh, Musk, Patil, and shout out to Divya Deshmukh, who is in the chat and who is commentating with me in chess.com India on the candidates. So China is not playing because of very strict COVID regulations. Let's have a look at the other teams. So we have Vidit, Harikrishna, Arjun, SL, and Shashi. And again, the board orders can be anything. Like USA, it doesn't have to be Caruana, Wesley, so Aronia, and Dominguez. These are all random board orders. And the board orders can be anything. This will be only known on 27th July, close to the tournament, the final board orders of each team. So yeah, Azerbaijan, pretty formidable team. We know the Indian team, the A team, the Norway team is one of the strongest in the history of Norway's Olympiad. Magnus Carlsen, or the highest rated player in the world, he outrates chess players like how USA outrates other teams. And he's there for Norway at the top. And then they have Aryan Tari, Jon Ludwig Hammer, who used to be Magnus's second, very good friend of Magnus. Now he also commentates on Norwegian TV. And their last two guys, Johan Sebastian Christiansen, also very young, very promising, very good at finding creative ideas in the opening. A bit underrated, I would say, at 25.93. And Frode Urkedal, who is also part of the same club as Magnus, of a spill. So this is the Norway's team. And then we have Spain, who's actually fielding a pretty decent team. Two players above 2,700. Vallejo used to be a former player in the super tournaments, and he's still pretty good, a 2,700 player. Alexei Shiro, I think, requires no introduction. One of the most creative players, brilliant in complexities, and a bit of a legend. David Anton Guyaro, you must have seen him quite a few times in the Champion Chess Tour events, and he was the player I defeated to become a grandmaster. The game I became a grandmaster with was a win against David Anton Guyaro. And Jaime Santos Latasa Jaime, that was not easy to pronounce. is also a very promising up and coming player from Spain, and has gained a lot of rating in recent times. So he's at number 4. And finally, Iturizaga, quite a frequent player in the blitz events, the rapid events, the online blitz events, and he's their 5th player. Then we have Poland, super strong team. I always hear Sagar's voice when I read the word Poland, and they have Jan Krzysztof Duda playing in the candidates right now, the World Cup champion, one of the guys who ended Vidit's qualification route to the candidates. He defeated Vidit in the World Championship, the World Cup match quarterfinal. Then Wojtaszek is a former second of our legend Vishy Anand. Pyorun, one of the best solvers in the world. He's a world solving champion, very creative, and Moranda, a strong player, about 2600. Macius Bartel works for Chess24 Poland. Ended my Banter Blitz road last year. He defeated me in the Banter Blitz Cup, and he's there as their 5th player. And meanwhile, chat, do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so more people can tune in. And especially as we are talking about the Netherlands team, Anish Giri could walk into any team, but he has grown up in Netherlands, and is it Team Netherlands or Team Anish? Everyone's just second, right? I don't know. I mean, Jordan is not really Anish's second anymore. Yeah, there was a bit of custody dispute between Anish and Magnus there. Jordan is very strong, very creative, and was rated about 2700 just a month ago, just a few days ago. But he played a match with Alexei Shiro, and Alexei Shiro crushed him in that match. Like, there was a massive margin, and that is the reason why their ratings got swapped. Alexei was rated a bit below 2700, and Jordan was about 2700, but their ratings literally got swapped. And yes, Jordan was in Team Magnus for the World Championship match, and as far as I know, he just goes around playing tournaments. Not he doesn't quite stay put at one place. A bit like Hans Niemann. They are kind of nomads. They just go around playing tournaments, doing different things related to chess, staying in hotels. I don't know about Jordan. I know this for sure about Hans, but I also heard that this was also what Jordan does. And a lot of people are asking about the team's chances, but the thing is, all these teams with people above 4 boards above 2600, they are all very solid teams, because at the end there will be 4 people taking the chair on the board, and these 4 boards, these people above 2600, they usually don't lose so regularly. They don't lose every game they play. So in the 11 rounds they play, they might lose like two games or 3 at best, but not more than that. So there will be situations where they make 2-2 draws. And in recent times, the most common scoreline is 2.5, 1.5. A superior team exerts pressure on the inferior team on all 4 boards, and one of them gives way. But it's not going to happen every single game. It won't necessarily happen every match. It's very unlikely that we'll see any team winning with 11 out of 11 score. So all these teams over 2600, I think they have a pretty decent chance. And that also brings us Ukraine. And I've already addressed this, why Vishy is not playing Tom. You can just scroll back a bit to the stream and have a look. And Ukraine, 2692, Korobo at the top. Kirill Shevchenko, a very young player, about 20 years old, one of those juniors, one of the top 10. Yes, Ivanchuk will be missed, and the Ukrainian players are in different locations throughout Europe, and I don't know what their situation is right now. It's not easy for them, but these they have still sent their one of their very strong teams. Again, four players above 2600. India has two teams because the host can field two teams, and host can also field uh, the third team, an additional team in case there is an odd number of entries. And Germany. Germany is in the ninth seeded team. Their captain is a familiar name. You might have seen him in a lot of Chess 24 broadcasts, Jan Gustafsson, and they are spearheaded by, again, one of the top juniors, Vincent Kiemer. Again, the board numbers are not quite fixed here. The board numbers can be random. I just had a power cut, and my AC is off. I need to go and turn on the fan. Just give me a second. Thankfully, this did not happen in during the candidates broadcast. Anyway, so the Germans are a very solid team, very good in openings, very good strategically, and not easy to beat in general. So Vincent Kiemer, Matthias Blubaum, Swane, all of them very strong and very solid, and up there at 2650. Nisipianu is a bit older. He's formerly from Romania, and then we have Dimitri Kolars, who is the reserve. Donchenko is not playing. His rating is, I think, he doesn't make the cut. He's a bit below. And no, Ananthakrishnan, I have not played in the Olympiad before. Yeah, and true, Vincent Kiemer could still be working with Peter Lico. And then we have the England team, who is also very solid in general. Michael Adams, a legend up there at the top, and Luke McShane, known to be world's strongest amateur. He doesn't play chess full time anymore, but he's very good. He's been up there at the top for many years now. And David Howell, again, requires no introduction, commentates a lot on Chess 24. So does Gawain Jones, and their reserve is probably just out there as reserve because they had to field five players, and he will play only if one of the top four feels unwell or something like that. I don't expect Hariya Ravi to be taking part in a lot of games, 2 or 3 games at best, or maybe 4. And then we have the India 2, which is probably the most exciting team in the Olympiads so far. And I don't know since when Nihal started embracing nihilism, but it's probably a typo. It's Nihal Sarin, Gukesh, the Beast, Adivan, who has fallen below 2600 for perhaps the first time in maybe 15 years or so. It We have to go really long back in time to see when AD was last below 2600. Prag and Ronak, massive expectations on the India second team, and I think they are pretty strong. They're a pretty strong team. Again, as I said, any team with 4 players about 2600, but this is a team where everyone's potential is much higher than their current rating, and that is going to be one of the things that sets them apart. And this is This is a very, very exciting team. Oh, India too is not the strongest. Sorry, not the youngest. How how who is the youngest? Akash Jain says sorry to say Srinath, but I feel two team will defeat India one team in whichever round they meet. That's totally okay, Akash. It's fun that everyone has their opinion, and that's one of the things that makes sports so interesting. And apart from that, both the teams are from India, so it's not like we have some kind of an enmity or rivalry. In fact, I was sitting right next to RB Ramesh in the Olympiad torch relay. We had a discussion with Vishy about the team compositions and the strategies and stuff. So, although we'll be as different team, taking part as a different team in the Olympiad itself, in spirit, we are both from India. So, India 1, India 2. It's not like it's not my team or anything like that. But once the Olympiad stands, of course, we'll be different teams. But it's ultimately it all comes down to India. We are both the teams are from India, and Arjun is in the India 1 team. He's the India 1 is seeded third, and India 2 is seeded 11th. Oh yeah, thanks to Adiban, average age increased, but I think we should just count the top four. The Uzbek team's average is 18.4. India 2 is 19.6. That's very interesting to observe. Is the Uzbeks, they have a pretty strong team. So does the Iranian team. Let's quickly go through the other teams now that we have covered the top 10 teams quite slowly. And all these top 10 teams are quite formidable. Four players about 2600. Uh, we get to the Armenian team, Sargsyan. They are missing Aronian. So this Armenian team, I think nowhere close to the strength that you usually see. But again, even the Indian teams in the past without Vishy had a similar handicap, but we still won a bronze medal. So you can't really underestimate these teams with uh, people all four boards about 2600. I think that's a major thing. Talking about that, Iran will also majorly miss Ali Reza Firoja. Now, imagine this team with Ali Reza, Parham, Amin Tabatabai, and Puya. That would have been a formidable team. But they are majorly missing Ali Reza, who moved to France sometime in 2019, just before the World Rapid and Blitz Championship in 2019, which I think he went on to outplay Magnus. He had a fantastic performance, and that was, I think, a major turning point in his career because just before the tournament, Iranian players were forbidden from playing the World Rapid and Blitz, and that was a major disappointment for example for someone like Parham, Amin, and a big lost opportunity because World Rapid and Blitz, it really gives you that stage to play against the best players in the world. If you observe in chess, a lot of these classical tournaments, not anyone can just come in and play. It's restricted to the elite. It's restricted to the best of the best. But the World Rapid and Blitz, any grandmaster about 25-50 or any player who has won the national championship can go and play the best in the world. And if they're good enough, they can win. So it's a massive opportunity. And if Israel versus Iran happens, yes, that is the precise reason why they were not allowed to play because there were a few Israeli players and there was a major incident in Iran at that time just before that World Rapid and Blitz in 2019. An athlete from Iran played against an athlete from Israel in some global event, and the Iranian leadership was not happy with that. So if Iran versus Israel happens, the Iranian players are generally expected to give walkover, but I don't know how that will take place in the Olympiad and if there will be any measures to avoid them getting parried. It's possible, but usually if the clash happens, the Iranian players will be expected to lose. And they will probably not be able to field a strong board in one of them because they lack a 2600. But this also allows them room to be flexible with their board orders. And then we have the youngest team, Uzbekistan, who are also look at this lineup. Nodebek Abdusaturo, 18 years old. Yakubayev Nodebek, also around that age, 19 years old, I think. Sindaro, who's even younger than Abdusaturo. And this team played in the under 16 Olympiad when I went as the captain, where I met Arjuna and Divya for the first time. And they were not so low rated then also. All of these guys were about 2500 then. Now they are all 2600. Abdusaturo, Yakubayev, Sindaro, and Wokido Shamsuddin. All of them juniors, all of them are around the same age. They are like the India 2 team. And they are also a very exciting team. They are captained by Ivan Sokolo, who was previously the coach of the Iranian team. And I guess Sokolo will have some experience there in molding these juniors. So that's the Uzbekistan team, and also a pretty exciting team. France will again miss Maxim Ashelagrab and Alireza Firoja. Neither of them playing because they were not too confident about surviving the heat in July in Chennai. Now, I'm not sure what to make of that because it's usually the heat starts dissipating around July. It's not the peak summer time in India. I think that's somewhere from March to June. So by July, the heat starts dissipating a bit. But having said that, I can also imagine that our heat tolerance and their heat tolerance is at completely different levels. We are used to it. We have grown up in it. But for someone coming from Europe, it's a totally different tolerance level. And MVL is not playing because Ali Reza is also not playing for France, and Ali Reza is not playing because of God knows what reason. He's been very strange with his tournament selection in the last 1 year. He didn't take part in most tournaments in the lead up to the candidates, which was super strange because it's very important for someone of that age. It's important for someone of any age professionally to keep themselves in constant practice, but especially for someone at that age. And not playing any tournament, I think, is one of the major reasons why he couldn't perform so well in the candidates. And not just strange tournament selection, but very strange pre-tournament, pre-game preparation as well, playing Hyperbullet till 6 a.m. before a candidate's game all night. And yes, ETN Backrow is also a notable absentee. He's more of a coach / second in recent times, and he's also there. Yes, MVL prefers that it was October, and he probably doesn't fancy their chances a lot if Ali Reza doesn't play, which is fair. But Ali Reza not playing tournaments is a bit perplexing, and he also didn't play in the Vacancy earlier this year. Again, perplexing, but we have no idea of his circumstances and the factors leading up to decisions. So who knows? But yeah, this is the France team. They will also miss Ali Reza. Iran will also miss Ali Reza, and he's a formidable force. So they will miss that. Hungary has a pretty solid team, but nothing spectacular. Czech Republic also solid team. Nothing too spectacular or highlightful. Oh yeah, talking about France, we have Elliot in the chat. Hey Elliot, what's up? How was the French league? And Russia is not taking part, Ishan. It would make for a very interesting team with Ali Reza and MVL. True, they would have been in the top 5. Hungary doesn't have Rapport in any case because Rapport has shifted federations from Hungary to Romania. Romania is supporting him with sponsorship, which is why he withdrew from the Norway chess in the last moment, being replaced with Aryan Tari, and he represents Romania now. So yeah, Czech Republic, Croatia, all of them decent teams. Few people about 2600, and they will probably lack that 2600 in one of the boats. These teams can come under pressure against the very top teams, but quite a few teams in the mix there. I think these are the major teams in the Olympiad, and that's uh, that's basically the top teams. The Australian team is also kind of interesting. They have Anton Smirno and Timur Koibekorov, both promising juniors on the top. But Australia and UK, chess is not considered a sport, and as such, they don't get any financial support from the government, and uh, this makes the improvement of chess very hard, because if you don't get any funding, it's very hard for the chess player to grow. So this one's going to be this is one of the most major handicaps, and why players like Anton Smirnov don't take up chess professionally in Australia. Not so fun fact, in the last 1 year, Adiban went from India number 4 to India number 18. Yeah, but I think he'll be back. He'll be back. And yeah, so that's all the major teams. Now let's address the questions related to the Olympiad, and anything else that you want to know. Why is China not playing? They have a very strict COVID policy, so they don't send their people outside. Yeah, let's have a look at the female teams. Let's have a look at how the women are lined up. How can spectators get tickets? I don't know, guys. I don't know right now. I need some time on that. India does India have a third team considering the odd number of entries? Also, I don't know yet. But these are the women's team, and India up there, the first seed, which I don't remember having seen there before. I live in Chennai, Roshan, and who will be the players in the third team of India if possible? That's not easy to say, because I don't know what the selection criteria is. They take the rating average of 3 months, but which 3 months I don't know. And just give me a moment. When one changes federation but retains a previous citizenship, how does that work? It's not considered as backstabbing, if I say so. Well, I don't know. I don't think things like this work in sport. For example, right now the England cricket team is playing against India, and in their previous Test series, they played against New Zealand, and now the recent England coach is Brendan McCullum, who was a former New Zealand wicketkeeper and a former captain of the New Zealand team. So when England played the Test match against New Zealand, Brendan McCullum was actually working with England. Now, I don't think that's backstabbing. It's just part of sport. And it would be a very complex thing if we start interpreting things like that. It would it would just become counterproductive and go against sports, go against the Olympic movement and the whole sporting movement, and any number of things we enjoy are contributed by people from all kinds of different nationalities. It just it's just very hard to ostracize people like that based on nationality. I don't think in India people have that kind of a mindset, Aditya. Maybe some people do, not everyone. We have all kinds of different things. Like for example, a lot of cricket teams in Europe, Denmark, and teams that are coming up are filled with people who used to play in India, so Indian nationalities. And Gary Kirsten was the coach of the Indian team, and It's pretty ridiculous to call it backstabbing or friend stabbing or whatever. Uh, it's just a gentleman agreement. Will there be live telecast of Olympiad? Telecast, you're talking about TV, right? I think, yeah, there might be a telecast in the Doordarshan or some other channel if they have agreed with that. Oh yeah, Sanjay Singh Solanki makes a very valid point. 290 watching and 250 likes. So do hit that like button. I don't have the live watching in front of me because I opened the cricket score in front of me. Priorities OP. So exactly, Rositsky. Even in football, so many people hold dual citizenship and move depending on selection. It's a complex topic, but there is no backstabbing, friend stabbing, and such strong words in that. Uh, it's just sport, guys. Uh, anyway, getting back to the teams. Uh, are you the captain of any team? I'm the captain of the Open A team, India, and let's go 31 for 2. Let's have a look at the teams of the women tournament. And with India, we have Konero Hampi and Dronawali Harika up there at the top. And look at how many points Vaishali has gained. She was around 2300. She was around 2400, but she has gone all the way up to 2442, quite close to 2450. And then we have Tanya Sachdev and Bhakti Kulkarni. So this is our India A team, and the competitors will be Ukraine, who have two very strong sisters, Anna Muzichuk and Maria Muzichuk. Maria is younger, but she has overtaken Anna, and incidentally, Anna will also play against Konero Hampi in the women's candidates. So Anna and Maria, the top two. These teams are very strong traditionally. Teams like Ukraine. In the women's also, China and Russia will be an even bigger uh, factor because there aren't as many strong contenders in the women as there are in the open. So uh, it will it will be an even bigger factor. Then Georgia, traditionally a very strong women's team. Nana Zagnitse, she played in the CSL, up there at the top, about 2500, and four boards about 2400. So as I said in the open, how four boards about 2600 makes a formidable team. In the women's, it's four players about 2400. When are the women's candidates being held? Expected at sometime around October or November, and the exact date and the place is not yet known. Sorry to ask, but like, how does non-playing captain work in chess? That's a very good question, Arpan. So a non-playing captain usually is the head coach of the team. That's one of the duties. The non-playing captain usually decides the board orders for the general board order, and also the match board order. So these are two different things. For example, if we take Kazakhstan and they have this general board order, Zanzai at the top, Dinara number 2, Subieva number 3, Kamiladinova at number 4, and Nagbayeva at number 5. If this is their general board order, then in the game they can choose 1, 2, 3, 4. But if they rest the second player, then their board order will be 1, 3, 4, 5. So third player will go to the second board, the fourth will go to the third board, and the fifth will go to the fourth board. So this is not like the batting order in cricket. So it's not like you can send Ashwin at number 3 and send him as a pinch hitter. It doesn't work like that in chess. So in chess, what happens is if you rest Virat Kohli at number 4, then Shreyas Iyer takes his place from number 5. The person next will take his place. So that is the level of flexibility. And Ashil, there are different titles in different sports. In chess, it's called the captain. And in terms of sporting analogy, It's, I think, the closest is the manager in football. So how there's the manager in football, similarly we have captain in chess. And um, the title sponsor of the Olympiad is, I guess, FIDE. It's the FIDE Olympiad. And Tamil Nadu government is, of course, the primary sponsor. So they are the main sponsor, the government of Tamil Nadu. Is the country allowed to have as many teams as it wants? No, only one. But the host has the right to field two teams. And if there is an odd number of entry, then the host can field three teams. All right. So moving on to the other teams, Poland, pretty decent team. They have Alina Kashlinskaya, who's originally from Russia, but she married Wojtaszek in a long time ago. It was, I think, some 5 or 6 years ago. And I think she's representing Poland for the first time, if I'm not wrong. Then France, decent team, 4 players above 2350, not bad at all, 5 players. And Azerbaijan also a pretty decent team. USA not as strong as their open team, but again 4 decent boards. Germany, Elizabeth Pates with 3 GM norms. I think she's as strong as a grandmaster. Rest of the boards not as impressive. And if you see in the women's, we don't have as many players about 2400 as we have about 2600 in the men's, the open. So do teams prefer to have the strongest player at the top or so on, or they go randomly? Usually they have the stronger player at the top. Usually they have the stronger player at the top traditionally. It's kind of like how you have the best batsman at the top. You know, there's a reason why Ricky Ponting and Rahul Dravid used to play at number 3 and Sachin Tendulkar at number 4. So they put their best players in around that place, and that's how it traditionally works. India A also has pretty good chance. Let's have a look at the India 2 team. The India 2 team has 2 superb juniors, Vantika Agarwal up there at the top, and our beloved Divya Deshmukh. And in between, they are sandwiched by 3 very experienced players, Soumya, Marianne Gomes, and Padmini Raut. And Padmini has been a very active player. I think she has played more tournaments since May than the rest of her team combined. She has been constantly around Europe playing a lot of tournaments, and she has increased quite a bit of rating. As you can see, she at 2374 is quite close to she's in fact higher rated than Bhakti from the A team. So she has made quite a bit of rating gains here. And this is our India 2 team. And this is how the teams are decked up. Yes, Ashil, all teams have to have a non-playing captain. Among other things, it's very important to have a non-playing captain for communication purposes. This is one of the main functions of a non-playing captain. So let's say you want to inform something to the teams. What people do is they inform the captains, and it's captain's responsibility to communicate it to the team members. Like, for example, there is a certain dress code for the teams. There's a change in the time control. Let's say there's a rule book and there's a certain rule. So all of these things are communicated to the captains, and the captains will communicate it to the team members. So this is how it functions in general. And I don't think any team has switched orders like that, putting the best players at the top and the lower rated players in the bottom boards. It wouldn't make a lot of sense. It would make things a bit random. At best, you get a 2-2 result. Yeah, your lower rated players lose, your best players win. Now, what teams prefer in general is they prefer to get the better of the equals. So, for example, if these two teams are competing, Georgia and Kazakhstan. So they would try to field a 2531 against 2495, and they will try to get an advantage there. If the 2531 goes to the fourth board and plays the 2397, she might score a point, but it's a lot of pressure for her. And uh, it's likewise for the player at the bottom, the fourth board going to the top board. Again, a lot of pressure. It's a lot of additional pressure, and it doesn't make sense to create pressure like that. So these are the lineups, guys. These are the lineups. These are all the different teams. And now that the rain has stopped and the match has resumed, I think it's time for me to make use of my rest day today and go and watch the match. 2 wickets are already down, so if I don't go fast, England might just get bowled out before I get there. Can there be a match between India 1 and India 2 at some point? Yeah, I think it's quite possible. It's quite possible, quite expected. And oh damn, the rain is back. Wow. Yeah, I think today is going to be a bit of rain. Yeah, today is going to be a bit of rain. There's a new feature in YouTube where it's possible to insert ads in the middle of streams. Have you guys seen it? Have you guys seen any streams where we can watch the streams can have ads? Should we try it once? YouTube keeps YouTube keeps putting it in my face. Let's just try it once and see how it goes. No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. No. 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 Yes. There are a lot of yes. Go ahead and try it once. Let's just try it out. I have inserted it. Now what happens? Does everyone see an ad? Does everyone see an ad? Yeah, but short one. Nice. So everyone's back? Yeah, there's also gifted memberships. I know. I know. I got the same one. Yeah, it doesn't go to everyone. Ad blocker doesn't block ads on YouTube, no? All right, chat. So I think that's um, those are the teams for today. Those are the lineups, and some of the questions that I haven't been able to answer. Will we have a third team? I'm not sure yet. There's nothing official about it, so wait for the announcement there. But in general, if there is an odd number of teams, that probably should be the right for the host to be able to field an additional team. So yeah, I think so, but I'm not sure. Wait for the official announcement. And prediction for India versus England, I think India will win. And in terms of the spectator tickets, again, stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And the moment I know anything about it, I'll let you know. A lot of people have been asking, including my own parents. Wow. Thank you so much, IPW Law. Five gifted memberships. And Ashwath Raja, welcome to the Knights. Sai Tarun, welcome to the Knights. And Krish Anand, welcome to the Knights. Rishabh, welcome to the Knights. And AK, also welcome to the Knights. Welcome all of you guys. Thank you so much, IPW, for the gifted memberships. And thank you so much, chat, for joining today. So I think that's all for today. I wanted it to be a short stream. Uh, Today was a rest day from the candidates commentary, which has been super tiring. 6-7 hours of constant streaming for the last 2 weeks, and today was a well-earned rest day. But when the Olympiad came out, there was really no chance I couldn't. The Olympiad teams came out, no chance that I could resist coming out and sharing it with the community. Meanwhile, chat, what do you think of the Chess This Week episodes? I've been watching it. Do you like it? Any changes? Anything that uh, any feedback from you? Do let me know in the comments. So it also boosts the algorithm. And if you haven't watched it, then do watch it. Do watch it. And yeah, I'm sorry, that's a lot of hands. But thank you, Jahnavi. And but I need some rest, people. So, but I'll be back soon. I'll be back pretty soon. Yes, Kostav. So the Chess This Week started because my own dad would be asking these questions, like which tournament is this person playing? Which tournament is that person playing? Has this person retired? Etc. 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 And I realized that there will be a lot of people who will be wondering similar things who don't have the ready-made information, and that's how it was born. So yes, features do need to boost the algorithm. And again, I noticed that my own parents, they were watching this video and they hadn't liked or subscribed to the channel. They didn't like the videos. My mom was sitting in front of me and saying how good it was. She was like, wow, it's been really nice. But that's a verbal feedback. That's how we do it as humans from the beginning. But in today's time of technology with algorithms, you have to hit that like button to show the appreciation. And it's just not a natural habit right now, but people do hit that like button. That feedback makes a whole lot of difference in being able to recommend it to a whole lot of people. Now, the chess this week, I want to make it a bit of a regular thing every week as much as I can, even during the Olympiad if it's possible, although no guarantees on that. Have no idea how things will be during the Olympiad, but I do want it to be a regular. Will Arjun play the upcoming Champion Chess Tour? Yes. Yes, he will. All right, chat. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining. And do check out the link for all of my socials, which has been posted in the chat. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, join the Discord. It's out there in the linked chat. And see you all tomorrow on chess.com India for the candidates. And maybe Tuesday for the title Tuesday. I don't know, but I might do it from this channel. So catch me there tomorrow. And until then, do check out the clips and the videos on this channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Love you all. See you.